my name is Meg Harper, and this is my audience today. What would you do if we were living in a world where we were slowly running out of plants, food, or maybe even oxygen? While this does sound pretty scary and pretty extreme also, it may be closer than we think. Today I will be sharing information with you on why we should be working to save the bee population. Bees affect us all by affecting not only the world's agriculture but also our economy. I've been researching this topic for weeks and I'm prepared to share with you all why we should be saving the bees. We should save the bees because they benefit our agriculture and our economy, and we can do so by taking 5 minutes out of our day and planting one bee-friendly flower. So, what's the buzz about the bee population? Bees are more important to our world than we think. The survey I asked for the class had some interesting results. 92% of those who responded said yes to do you often use bee products like honey or wax, and 42% said that they use 6 to 10 bee products a day. When I asked why should we save the bees, someone said bees play a huge role in producing the things we use every day and are a huge part of our economy. When I asked what should we do to save the bees, some results said plant flowers, support nature reserves, identify sources of viruses, and fund research. Bees contribute to our agriculture in a huge way. According to the National Development and Reform Commission's Why We Need Bees, bees are pollinators. Cross-pollination helps at least 30% of the world's crops and 90% of wild plants to thrive. Without bees, many plants, including food crops, would die off. A 2014 article from BBC News says honeybees are responsible for $30 billion a year in crops. We may lose all the plants bees pollinate, all the animals that eat those plants, and then so on up the food chain, which means a world without bees could struggle to sustain the world population of 7 billion. Not only do bees affect our agriculture, but our economy as well. The NDRC's article, Why We Need Bees, states the global economic cost of bee decline, including lower crop yields and increased production costs, has been estimated at as high as $5.7 billion per year. So now that we know some background information about the bees, what's the problem? In patterns of widespread decline in North American bumblebees, Sidney Cameron states, the relative abundances of 4 species have declined up to 96%, and their surveyed geographic ranges have contracted by 23 to 87%. The role of the bee from SOS Bees states there's been a 40% loss of commercial honeybees in North America since 2006, and a 45% loss of commercial honeybees in the UK since 2010. So now that we know that the decline of the bee population seriously affects us, what can be done? Doing your part to save the bees consists of simple solutions. In March 2016, the New York Bee Sanctuary posted 10 things you can do to help save the bees. They say, don't use pesticides or herbicides, buy local honey, don't weed your garden, and leave a water dish out for bees to get a drink from. Jonna Robbins from Honeybee Conservancy says, build a bee garden with bee-friendly flowers, a bee bath, and houses for solitary bees. If you don't want to spend your time doing these kinds of actions, you could also donate money to supporting groups. The NDRC, the Honeybee Conservancy, and the Pollinator Partnership are always accepting donations and are always funding research for the decline of the bee population. Cheerios is also taking an initiative. Cheerios has been selling boxes without Buzz the Bee to make people aware of the decline of the bee population. From 2018, their website states, Honey Nut Cheerios is continuing its mission to bring back the bees. We've partnered with Pages Seeds to give away a packet of seeds in specially marked boxes of Honey Nut Cheerios. So what would happen if we weren't to take any action against the decline of the bee population? Barbara Weaver from Duke Green University answers this question with 2 extreme scenarios as well as one scenario that is in the middle. The first scenario shows robots replacing pollinators completely. We would only use clean energy in our world, and the majority of people would be vegans because without the bees, food animals would eventually die off. While this does seem like an extreme solution, it is a much more desirable solution than the second one she offers. The second shows food beginning to slowly disappear off of shelves or just skyrocket in prices. Slowly, the fruit and vegetables would disappear, and then the crops, and then meat. Eventually, panic would set in as people realize that they are quickly running out of food. Of course, bees don't pollinate all of the plants and foods that we eat, but most of the ones that we do eat, they do pollinate. The third solution is a mix in the middle. It says that everyone needs to take action. We all plant flowers, we create a safe environment for bees, and we support environmentally green farming in order to delay or even prevent their extinction. Bees are super important to our environment, our agriculture, and our economy. We need to take action today by planting bee-friendly flowers and supporting environmentally green farming. We could be facing a future with a loss of plants, less food, and therefore even less people. By taking 5 minutes to plant 1 or 2 bee-friendly flowers, we could all help save the bee population. A world without plants, food, oxygen does sound pretty scary and extreme, but it could be closer than we think. Therefore, we need to take the time today to help save the bees.